Yes, hello people. How you doing? Hope everyone's great. Um, yeah, let's do a live video for maybe I don't know half an hour. Yeah, let's do it for half an hour, shall we? Yeah. Oh yeah. So currently it's about I think it's about 1 p.m. in America, and yeah, so I've drunk quite a bit, and a friend recommended I go live just for fun. So let's see what happens. But you know what? The thing is, I don't really get drunk. That's the problem. Yeah, I just stay sober all the time. So there we go. Okay, right. So any good ancient mysteries lately? Anyone know anything? Any good ancient mysteries? So Brian Forster, he's watched my last video, and he's actually confirmed my theory. And my theory, it's going to be in the next video, is that the Trojan War forced the redhead giants to flee to America. Just unbelievable. I just can't believe it. Just unbelievable. Yeah. Hello, Tina Silva. How are you doing? And it was the Trojan War that forced the red-headed giants to flee, to emigrate to Peru. Brian Foster talks about it as the biggest lake in Peru. Just unbelievable. Just unbelievable. Hello, Buford Justice. Hello, sir. Just incredible. Unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, I just cannot. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. So here's the thing: the Trojan War forced the. This is the thing, people. The Trojan War forced the British people to flee Anatolia. They went to Britain. It forced the Etrurians, the ex-Troyans, to flee to the far side of Italy, away from the people who were invading Anatolia. It forced the Latins, the Lydians, to flee to the far side of Italy. And it forced the redhead giants to flee to America. They said, stuff this. We're leaving the entirety of Europe. We're leaving. Cheers, Martin. O'Malley, you have a nice Irish name. Nice. You know, I after visiting Ireland, I was only there for about 9 weeks. I tell you what, I feel almost Irish with all their stuff about their nationalism and all their amazing stuff, how they were mistreated by the English. It's just unbelievable. Yeah. Tina Silva, Syrian to Surrey. Syrian to Siri is what you're saying. And I suppose so. Indeed. Yeah, that's right. So, how's everyone doing? I hope everyone's absolutely fantastic, doing absolutely amazing. I wasn't planning on making a live video, to be honest, but I thought, what the hell, why not? Yeah, yeah. So, oh damn, is it going through this microphone? I think it's going through this microphone. Okay. Tell me if it's going through this microphone, please. This is the microphone here. Cheers. And Ezequiel Alvarez, hello from Mexico. Hello, sir. How are you doing? And Tina says hot and sunny in England, which would be quite fascinating because, to tell you the truth, England is pretty rainy place. Tina, yes, indeed. So Wellville says Wilson and Blackett say the same. They would, wouldn't they? That's what they say. They say that the ancient British have migrated from Babylon. First, they said they migrated from Phoenicia. Then they said they migrated from the Trojan region. Indeed. Hello, Wellville. Yeah, so I just wanted to say that, like, what Brian Forster said in 2020, he made a video, and he said that this is very exciting. This is very exciting indeed. Someone's sending me a message. I'll just put that over there somewhere. There we go. Just put that over there somewhere. Indeed. So, so Alan, Alan, it's actually my dream to meet them, but I don't think it's going to happen because they're so far away. and I've been following their website since literally the 90s. It's such a good website, I tell you what. And you're saying he's 90. Alan Wilson, Baron Blackett, these brilliant historians who have uncovered the truth of ancient British history, which has been suppressed by pro-Germanic historians. Just the same happened in Eastern Europe, I've been finding out. And the pro-Germanic historians have been saying the Slavs don't exist. They say they don't exist, and it's only Germans exist in ancient times. You know what I mean? It's unbelievable. So Ezequiel Alvarez says, Charles, keep posting your videos. Thank you, Ezequiel. Wellville says, yes, I live in Newcastle now. Michael says, so, okay, someone told me do a live video because I'm in this condition. And I'm going to tell them right now, I don't seem to be very drunk, so it seems to be okay. So I just sent them that message. There we go. So, yeah, there we go. So, yeah, so what else are we talking about? So, yeah. So, okay. So Michael Ruchley says, I love Wilson Black. Yeah, they are amazing. So I read their hieroglyphics book. I got to tell you, it's wrong. They say the Welsh is Egyptian hieroglyphics. It's actually incorrect. I know what the actual Welsh language is, and hello there. So I know what the actual Welsh language is, and it's actually not ancient Egyptian. It's saying similar though, but I won't reveal it until a future video, and then I will reveal it because it's to do with the decipherment of an ancient script. There we go. So Michael Rutledge says hi from North Wales, and there we go. Straight away, we're talking about, you know, the ancient Britons. They came from Wales, and I have to tell you, people, I really encourage you, if you haven't read the entirety of the history of the ancient Britons with regards to, you know, it slips my mind at the moment. I have to say it slips my mind. What was it? What was the historian called? I'm so sorry. It slips my mind. My Spartacus Kitty says, love you. M says, you and cats rule. M Mulder says that. Wellville says, that sounds interesting. I'm Welsh. So here's the thing. The Welsh people, they come from Anatolia. They were living in Anatolia. Someone loves me in Michigan, but I don't know who that is. It better not be it better not be, who the hell loves me in Michigan? Okay, Laura from Michigan. Okay, that's all right, cool. So, yeah. So what I wanted to say was the history of the ancient Britons. Check that Chronicle of the Ancient Britons, written in the 1200s, the 1200s AD. I encourage all of you to read that in entirety, and you will love it. And you will see the Britons have a glorious history. Basically, the Britons, they start in Anatolia. In 1000 BC, they have just been defeated by the Greeks in the Trojan War, and they're being harassed. So what they do, they kidnap the Greek king, and they say, stop harassing us or else. And then they say, stuff this, we're leaving. And where are we going to go? Brutus, the leader of the Britons, he takes some drugs and goes to sleep under a statue of Diana. And in the dream, Diana tells him where to go. She says, oh, Brutus, go to a land far away. It is called Britain. Hardly any people live there. The only people who live there are giants. The giants, they are only few in number. You can defeat them. So when the Britons finally arrive, they arrive in Britain, and they throw the giants off a cliff, and they execute them, and they kill them, and they get rid of them, and they conquer Britain. And Quirinius takes Cornwall, and Brutus takes Britain. And I was thinking that's a pretty uneven way to distribute Britain, because Cornwall is so much smaller. But if you look at a Ptolemaic era map of Britain, Cornwall is the same size as the rest of it. It's like they split it 50-50 according to those maps. So that shows this story was written 2,000 years ago in Roman times, and it was not a forgery, as the archaeologists falsely proclaim and the historians falsely proclaim. Unbelievable. And in fact, the historians, I was in a group of historians, of academics, and one of them was actually arguing with the others, and she was saying he didn't forge it. This is real British history. He did not forge this. So even the academics know this is real British history. This was not a forgery. Though some say it's yes, simply because they read it somewhere. Anyway, there we go. That's ancient British history. It's unbelievable. Gog Magog, Wellville says Gog Magog, and we said this is a triple god. It seems to be a triple god, doesn't it? So, Stephen Crumb, are you Crumb? Crumb, the god that lives underground, the secret of steel. I live in Georgetown, off of King George Boulevard in Georgia. And Michael has mentioned Lethbridge. Lethbridge, a great British historian. And I unfortunately, I have one of his books, believe it or not. I have one of his books. His books are extremely expensive, extremely hard to purchase because of their expense. But I've got one of them about witches. So, and I've read another one. So here's a weird thing about Lethbridge, Charles Lethbridge, brilliant British historian. He actually looks a lot like Tom Baker, the Doctor Who of the 70s, the best Doctor Who. And Lethbridge, brilliant man. He was an archaeologist. He wrote brilliant books. But funny thing is, he was writing about telepathy, about pendulums, about all this weird stuff. And Lethbridge, here's the funny thing about him. Although he was an academic, he was almost an academic. He worked in a museum. He wrote books about almost paranormal things. And when von Däniken came up with his Chariots of the Gods in 1968, 1969, Lethbridge simultaneously had written a book at exactly the same time called, I don't know what it's called. You'll be able to tell me what it's called. You will tell me what it's called. It's called The Son of Man and the Gods, or something like that. The Son of the Gods or something. And it was about exactly an identical topic to von Däniken's Chariots of the Gods at exactly the same time. Just unbelievable. Just unbelievable. And he said when he saw von Däniken's book came out, he almost wanted to rip up his book because he didn't know why he'd written it. He'd written exactly the same book as von Däniken. It's synchronicity. The universe is a synchronicity engine. It's absolutely unbelievable. Anyway, so Hans 3000 says, drop like people as I was the first random like I'm Welsh. Okay. Okay. Darkside says, cheers, mate. It should be fun. Yeah, it's a bit disappointing, actually. I thought I'd be a bit more drunk, actually, but I seem to be acting quite normal because I don't really get that drunk. I mean, so Michael Rutledge says, hello, Cumbria. I'm originally from Windersmere. So, Tina, I had about 5, 6, 7 cocktails or something, which I made myself. I just thought, why not? Because we're actually locked down here. There's nothing to do. So, Rich says, hello to you, Sir Charles, and your excellent videos. Hello, Rich. Thank you so much. Alex says, must run. Time for work. Take care. Cheers, Alex. Stephen says, I guess I have some studying to do about my name. Well, obviously, I mean, Conan the Barbarian, right? So Michael Rutledge says, I only read mysteries by Colin Wilson. So Colin Wilson, okay, look, honestly, Colin Wilson, brilliant author, a little dry, but brilliant author, brilliant read, amazing. So while Michael Rutledge is being a bit of a snob and saying, I only read mysteries by Colin Wilson, Jeff Darman is saying, which Doctor Who and obviously where? Now, Jeff, I'd love it if you incorporated some English grammar into what you are saying, so then I could understand what you're saying and other people can understand what you're saying, and it's not just you that understand what you're saying. No offense. Right. Someone wants me to do shots. Okay. So Michael says, Windermere, Charles. Look, I don't know what you're talking about. You're going to have to use a sentence there. Sorry. Just another person says, hello from Montana. Michael says, no snobbery, lol. I was only joking, Michael. I'm just kidding. My Spartan Pictures Kitty says, been watching you from the beginning. I'm going to have to start this over later. I'd love to talk to you for hours. I love your brain. Always drink with a buddy. My Spartan Pictures Kitty, I've never seen you before, but thanks for the nice words. English Bob says, hello, Montana. Jeff Darman says, lol, just playing with the words. Michael says, all right, more Cumbrians. Hans says, you're drunk. Don't sound it, bro. Miles Flynn says, was thinking some more about dolmens. Perhaps they were recreations of structures from a previous era wiped off the earth by catastrophe and reproduced from collective memory or handed down stories. Yes. Darkside says, I love your gonzo journalism style. I only read your books. Oh, thank you. Nice. Kimberly Citizen Nichols says, lol, I don't understand what you're saying. Enjoy your night, Chucky. Thank you so much. So what I was saying earlier was that, so in 2020, this is what I said at the start of the video. I'll just recap it. In 2020, Brian Forster, and I just watched the video today, he actually said that these redheads emigrated to America 3,000 years ago. These were redheads, or they had dark red hair. Very interesting indeed. And they left Eastern Europe. They came through Iraq and Anatolia, and they went to Peru. And they stopped in Peru at Paracas because this was the biggest lake that they saw, that they found. And yeah, it's just incredible. And this tallies so well with what we've shown in a previous video, where in fact, we've seen that this doorway, this Phrygian doorway cut in a cliff is 700 BC. And it tallies so well with Brian Forster's estimate of when these people left America and went to Peru. Just incredible, it's unbelievable. Yeah, so anyway, how's everyone going? I hope everyone's having a good life. You know, I've been putting on weight again, unfortunately. I'm getting a bit fatter again, unfortunately. Oh, I hate it so much. But, you know, we're going to lose the weight again, fortunately, yes. So, right. So, Kimberly says, thanks for the recap. English Bob says, jam eaters in the house. Look, you know, I don't know what you're talking about, but that's okay. So, yeah, someone's giving me messages or something. I don't know what they're talking about. Someone says I've got great plans. That's good. Okay, good. Okay, so guys, tell me something new. I've been telling you what's been on my mind. You tell me what's on your mind. I want to know what's on your mind. Tell me now what's on your mind, okay? On your mind. Come on. So Jeff has given me something very interesting just then. He says, spring has arrived. Nature is happy. Alira Stark says, I recommend Kamel Salibi's book. Since you've made videos about Mary and Jesus, you may like his out-of-box ideas about testaments. I've never actually heard of his books, but thank you so much. Very interesting indeed. Sounds quite fascinating to me. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Good evening. Brian says, good evening. Clive says, all right, Mara. Yeah. Okay. So Miles says, was thinking some more about dolmens. Perhaps they were recreations of structures from a previous era, wiped off the earth by catastrophe and produced from collective memory or handed down stories. Very fascinating indeed. Yes, very interesting. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm just so into the ancient redheads at the moment. They're so interesting. I was just thinking, like, wow, Brian Forster's theory actually kind of matches mine, you know, 700 BC. I actually didn't know about his theory at the time when I made that. So, yeah. So Names Policy says Ramses had red hair. And what happens is every dark age, every single dark age, red-headed blonde people come from the north and take over because they want to live in a warmer climate and they just go south, right? And Ramses was New Kingdom, and it happened about that time, which is so interesting, yeah. Yeah, so auburn hair is auburn or flaxen hair, isn't it? That's cherry blonde hair, isn't it? I think it. No. Flaxen. No, what am I talking about? Flaxen hair is very light blonde, platinum blonde that you only see these days in Ireland or even parts of Australia. Yeah, it's very nice hair. Very nice hair indeed. It's almost white. So Honest says, did the redhead giants have elongated skulls? And well, you know, yeah, they kind of did. My Spartacus Pictures Kitty says, what video was it you made about old building being torn down from other civilizations at state fairs and stuff? No, I don't know. I'm so sorry. Scott says Martha's Vineyard has dolmens. Yeah, Martha's Vineyard, very famous place, but I have no idea where it is. I have no idea anything about it. So Maurice says, hi, Charles, how you doing? Maurice, I'm doing absolutely fantastic. I hope you're doing great too. Darkside says, what do you think about the US UFO investigation The TikTok UFO is interesting. Look, dark side. They will never find anything about UFOs because they don't know what UFOs are. UFOs are a comet tail coming out of Earth, causing geomagnetic alterations in our minds, causing alien abduction experiences. They're almost intelligent. Like, it's absolutely unbelievable what they can do. But they don't know what they are. They were only interested in UFOs because they thought they were Russian things, coming over. So Michael says, did you see the Stone Circles YouTube video on Malta and the fact they're all aligned to Sirius? Michael, I have no idea what you're talking about, but it sounds absolutely amazing. And why wouldn't you assign it to Sirius? Align it to Sirius. Sirius is the closest star. It's the nearest star. It's got it's absolutely incredible. It's the brightest nearest star. It's the brightest star in the sky. It's 30 light years away. It's unbelievable. Chris says, just finished 8 hours. Anunnaki Sumerian compared to Bible version is absolutely amazing. Fills in the blanks. You can post a link to that. I'm quite curious what you're talking about. M. Mulder says, probably client drones from China, lol. Yeah. Scott says, off the east coast of Massachusetts. I'd love to see that state, Massachusetts. There's so much stuff you have there in that. And I believe you have some beautiful architecture, beautiful waterfall-style architecture from some famous architects. The Waterfall House. You have the Waterfall House in Massachusetts, don't you? Absolutely amazing. So Michael Rootley says, Megalithomania YouTube channel. Yeah. Oh, yes, good channel. So Tina says, your gesticulations remind me of a famous German dictator. Okay, there you go. So, okay. Who? I don't know. I've got no idea who you're talking about. Which one? There've been so many. No, just kidding. So David says, thanks for the recent Patreon videos. I also love the Clunk Beep vids. So I started a little car channel called Clunk Beep because I've got a rotten old car. Just a rotten old car. It's 30 years old now, and I've had it for 10 years, and it used to be it's a Toyota. It used to be unbelievable reliable, but it is so complex that mechanics with 30, 40 years experience cannot repair it. I'm going to try and repair it. Unbelievable. So my Spartacus Pictures Kitty says, oh my God, you did a video about whitewashed stone buildings somewhere at state fairs or said to have been made for the fair, but were really old. I still don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. You're going to have to be more specific, my Spartacus Kitty in Michigan. I'm so sorry. There we go. Yeah, that's right. I mean, yeah. So there you go. Unbelievable. And yes, Tina Silver has some excellent work herself. She visits Egypt all the time, literally. So Angie Bear in Maine, USA, was just so you're in the beautiful wilderness of Maine. Amazing. Was just thinking, why is Charles drinking at 10:30 in the morning? 12. Okay, I'm going to read the clock. All right. Tuesday, 12:38 a.m. There you go. Okay. No, but I've run out. I can't have any more. I've got no more. I don't want to mix it with something else. You know what I mean? So Chris says 500 stone power towers found in 4 Points area of US in 1920 had 6 to 7.5 foot tall elongated skull redhead living in them. They were massacres. Chris, this is R-rated stuff. I don't know what to do with that comment. That's unbelievable. Yeah. Angie Bear says, beautiful here. So you're at 10:30 in the morning in Maine. Maine, I can imagine Maine must be amazing. I've never been there, but it must be absolutely amazing. Cheers. Cheers. Yeah. So Stephen says, Krum the Fearsome. So you're learning about have you not watched Conan the Barbarian? I mean, you have exactly the same name. So what Krum is, it seems to be an earth god in this movie. The funny thing about this movie, Conan the Barbarian, it's channeled reality. It's channeled it's channeled the snake eating itself. For some reason, the script writer was able to channel into the ancient world when he wrote the script. And this often happens when someone's in the zone, they start receiving information like a radio transmitter. So it's not that unusual that it should happen. So that they would be writing down bits of ancient history unbeknownst and into that movie. And so the snake eating itself, that cult is the Stonehenge cult. Crom, the god that lives in the rock, that movie from 1981, that amazing movie. And the sequels are also pretty good, but not as good, actually. But actually very interesting as well. Sword and sorcery era, unbelievable. Like, I mean, do you remember before the internet, there was absolutely nothing to do. There was nothing to do. So that era was that's that era before the internet, before all this rubbish on the internet, and there was nothing to do. Yeah, this guy name's Paul. This guy, I don't know who Crom is, and it's his name. Can you believe it? It's unbelievable. So Tina says, when I got bitten by a snake, I could see the future for 3 weeks. Really? That's very interesting. So your brain was kind of zoned out. Maybe it put you into a meditation state or something. Yeah. Okay. Did you get a fever or anything? Did it give you any weird fevers? Pliorable says they just applied the Edgar Rice Burroughs books, which are brilliant books, by the way. I really, I got to recommend at least reading one. He's not the greatest writer in the world, but it's very good stuff. And you'll see where all this stuff comes from, all this new stuff. So Chris says, DTVTTT says, is the name of the YouTube channel for Anunnaki documentary. Good to know. So Tina said she didn't have a fever. So she saw, after being bitten by a snake, she saw the future for 3 weeks and no fever. So look, I'm a Jedi says, the early Christian Gnostics also used the serpent symbol eating its own tail. Unbelievable. And Louis the 17th says, before the internet, one used the telephone to communicate with actual friends. That is not the people on Facebook that you never speak to, right? Yeah, and they like you because you like them. I understand this very much. Yeah, that's very, very interesting. That's very interesting. Yeah, that's right, Mulder. So Tina Silva, she's traveled to Egypt about 100 times, and she knows all the luminaries in Egypt. And she knew a few of the late authors of ancient mystery books and so forth. Very interesting. So English Bob says, before the internet, we all just about waiting for it to be invented. You're right. We were waiting around. Before, when there was no internet, it was so boring, and we were waiting and waiting for it to be invented. You're right. You're so right. And there was nothing to do except listen to the radio. What do you do? Play a board game? Walk outside? Go for a walk? I don't know. And that's what Leslie says. I went outside for entertainment. Yeah, there's nothing else to do. So Lethal Outdoors says, UFO report and declassified videos. What's your take, Charles? Not that again. So My Spartan Pictures Kitty says, it's an old video. I'm going to search again. Darkside says, giant bones are a problem. Giants are not made by God. That is a problem, I guess. Mr. Kim Smith says, Noah's flood was done to destroy the giants. You are so correct. I agree with you. The giants were the bad ones. You're right. The giants were the bad ones. And believe it or not, okay, I don't know if I should say this. I just saw on the Megalithomania page, someone posted a picture of one of the Rothschild bankers, and his skull is it's a long skull. It's almost a long skull. It's almost a long skull. So they come from Eastern Europe. These red-headed peoples. There you go. So yeah, there you go. Radio. Marzio says, before the internet we lived. Emulda says, was Noah a racist? I don't know if you're so you're saying that because was the flood made to destroy the ancient giants, the redheads? So look, I'm a Jedi says we really need to get on a specific date for the biblical flood. 400 BC doesn't work, mate. None of them work. None of them work. If you want flood, there's the Black Sea flood, 5000 BC. There's the Doggerland sinking about 5000 BC. You're looking at about 5000 BC. Forget dates. They remember the event. They get the date wrong. Even in ancient chronicles, they get the date wrong. Forget about the date. That doesn't matter. English Bob says, I was bitten by a pet viper once. No visions, just a comma and near death. I don't want to know about it. Oh, my God, I don't want to know about it. Oh, my God, that's awful. So Louis says, racism was invented in the 1920s by the Soviet Union. I kind of agree with you. It's kind of a stupid thing, that whole concept, because no one actually is. Honestly, no one is. No one is, or everyone is. That's my theory. No one really is. It's just people say that, but I don't know if it's true. Tina says cranial deformed. Yes, I saw it. Mr. Jojo says hello, everyone. David says the snake is called an Ouroboros. It certainly is, David. Tobis says good morning. Hello, Tobis. Chris Belvedere says, I'll send you the documentary. Arizona University archaeologist worked on the stone towers for 7 years before World War II. Books on it. Maurice says the hieroglyphic letters inscribed in the logbook were written more than 4,500 years ago. Lethal Outdoors says, I watched a video on Saddam Hussein claiming to be King Nebuchadnezzar III, and he claimed to have a Nephilim and a Stargate, and it's all nuts. Wow. Interesting. Tina has a theory. Stephen says Smithsonian has all the bones. If visible DNA, then giants may be cloned and let loose on the world again. Tobis says, I bought a dinghy safe from the flood. Jeff says, before globalism, we had terrestrial behavior and common sense. Louis says, we know of the Black Sea and the Red Sea, but there's also the Yellow Sea and the White Sea. Woo! Look, I'm a Jedi says, I suspect long-headed, elongated skulls evolved in lower gravity environment, probably another planet. So here's the thing. It's not just elongated skulls. If you look at Brian Forster's documentaries, look, okay, so here's the head, right? So there's the head. And what happens is the long skull people have the spinal cord goes in right in the back, okay? Or not in the center, like all the way in the back. It's a different type of skull. It's almost a non-human skull. Furthermore, they have a type of weird suture patterns on the skull, which are called Inca bones, according to Brian Forster. Just fascinating. So they're almost like they're literally a different race that no longer exists. They're a different race. Okay. Yeah, and I won't go too much longer. I just wanted to make this video just for fun, just have a bit of fun. But there we go. So Chris says, my Spartan Kitty is talking about mudflood videos. You didn't do those, but yeah, they're on YouTube. Look, I'm a Jedi says, Lethal Outdoors, I heard that was why we invaded Iraq, to take Saddam Hussein's Stargate. Lethal Outdoors says, thanks for the great video as usual, Charles. Love your work. Hope rest of chat comes sus my channel after that. Good night. Good night, Lethal Outdoors, because he's in Australia, so good night. Chris says, my Spartan Kitty is talking about mudflood videos. Emerald just says, you're 1/16th octopus, M. So someone called M is 1/16th octopus, really? Oh, M's Mad World, okay. Mr. Kim Smith says, serpent seed doctrine. There was no apple in the garden. Satan seduced Eve. Cain was their son. Kim, you are. This is very interesting. M says, really? Chris says, what do you think Stargate are in reference to? Look, I'm a Jedi. Do you think we have any elongated skull and DNA in a low degree in modern humans? Absolutely. So, okay, so here's what happened. So, someone, he was very awkward to me in the past, a Peruvian. And he thought I was after his girl or something. I was, I don't know. And he was a bit nasty to me, but then he needed me for a favor. So he came here. He was in this room. And he was one of the most intelligent people. He's more intelligent than anyone I've met. So he must have had some of this ancient redhead DNA. So I thought, wow, this guy's really, really smart. Wow, So yes, we have some of this redhead DNA survives for sure. Absolutely. Anyway, yeah. So Topper says, what about the Atacama skeleton? I heard it disappeared. I don't know about that. Sorry. My Spartacus Pitches Kitty says, thank you for the mudflood videos. I'll go look. Tina says, there were some ancient orms in the museum which were taken by the invading Americans. You're talking about Loch Ness monsters, worms? M. Mulder says, do you fit in a fish tank? Then you can come over, lol. Okay. What are you talking about? M's Mad World says, disappeared, just up and vanished. M's Mad World says, then why hide so much? Mario says, Charles, what do you think about Robert Shepard? I think he's fantastic. I think he keeps to himself. He keeps to himself for sure. He's a lone researcher. He's a lone wolf researcher. That's what I think about him. Yeah. So Jeff says, orbs. You know, everyone's asking random questions at the moment. It's incredible, left and right, random, all sorts of, do you think this, do you think that? Unbelievable. So Bob says, do you read Ross Broadstock's Carmoglyphic? Okay, it's wrong. Rob, the Welsh are not ancient Egyptians. I know where they're from. I'm going to research. I'm going to show you where they're from. But the language is not ancient Egyptian. It's similar. But we're talking like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 years difference between where they come from and Egypt. It's a different place. They're mixed with Egyptians, but it's not ancient Egypt. Vesvik says, why would elongated skulls require a lower gravity environment? Elongated skulls are not equal to giants Nephilim, but there's an argument for species growing larger in higher oxygenated environments. Right. Yeah. So NAME's policy says red hair equals consequence of decreased melanin to increased vitamin D absorption in northern climates. No obvious correlation to brain, though. Mere keratin fibers. Tobis says the Welsh are Atlantean throwbacks. Well, partly. They're mixed. They're mixed. That's the thing. Yeah. Yeah. So many good comments from you people. Absolutely amazing. I just love you people. Yeah. So look, I'm a Jedi says Neanderthals had red hair too. But how do you know that? Where's the link? How do you know that? Prove it to me. How do you know that? You don't know that. Prove it to me. Prove that to me. Yeah. Marzio says, why is Scandinavian blonde rather than ginger? Because they're not from Scandinavia. They are from an isolated region which allowed their ecotype unique characteristics, recessive characteristics, to become dominant because they didn't mix with the people who were ginger, who are from who are the Europeans from the continent. So that's the reason. That's the reason. They're from Doggerland. They're from Atlantis. Yeah. Okay. Tobis says, I love you too. Thank you, Tobis. M's Mad World says, gross. Unbelievable. Gross. Someone's grossed out. Stephen says, the giants were from Saturn, one of its moons, and got stuck here after one of the catastrophes. Stephen, this is unbelievable. You got to contact CNN about this. This is incredible. Just unbelievable. Yeah. Yeah. Tina says redhead a rhesus negative. Michael Rutledge says Kumru. Okay, you're talking the Welsh language, which very few people speak. So if you want to be understood, I recommend you use English. Just a little suggestion there. M says we're merely specks of dust. Chris says, could the best people be leftovers from the reset? Possibly. Yeah. Interesting. So, okay, you're saying more. Now you're saying, yeah. Okay, you're using a funny language that I don't understand, okay? Right. Okay, so what else is happening in the world? We won't go too much longer, but I just wanted to make a quick video. So there we go. Yeah. I just wanted to test myself. Yeah. Okay. All right, people. So Chris says, what's your next project? I'm gonna just I have to do a certificate or a diploma in finance to get a proper job. I need some money. That's my next project. So Tina says, many Basque are rhesus negative. Marzio says, do you agree on the theory that Earth had another layer over the stratosphere made of ether, water, or ice, possible source of universal flood. You know, that's a very interesting idea, sir, but I have to disagree because we don't have that today. So because we don't have that today, it's extremely unlikely that we had that in the past. Like, how could the Earth change so radically and be the same Earth, you know? But who knows? Anyway, there we go. Okay, we'll finish up in a few minutes, peeps. But thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. You know, I just wanted to have a bit of a chat. And yeah, Colin says, let's hear more about the Amazon being made by human error. I'm very interested in this topic. So some people really like this topic. So basically, Colin, I still think that okay, so here's the thing: if weeds spread very easily, what we have in the situation in the Amazon is a situation where foreign plants have been introduced, although I don't know where they're from, if they're foreign plants, and they've spread and taken over the area. Because what you have is you have two different types of plants: carbon-4 and carbon-3 plants. Carbon-4 plants is grass. It has a superior mechanism for cold temperatures in taking over. Like, grass is the weirdest, the craziest weed you've ever seen. Grass is a weed, and it's the worst weed in the world. In bamboo form, it can destroy a house. It will grow through the house. Shoots will come up through the house. It'll be like Jack and the Beanstalk, and it can destroy the house. And what happened is this carbon-4, the Amazon used to be a carbon-4 system. It used to be a grassland because this was favored in the Ice Age, and this was favored when the ancient ruins were there, which makes me think, wow, they're near the equator. This must be the oldest civilization in the world, the Amazon. And that would explain why the Amazon, why South America, why America has given us the highest calorie foods: the potatoes, the corn, the maize. The highest calorie foods come from South America. Why? Because they were cultivated artificially by ancient giant superior civilization. That's why. The oldest civilization is on the Amazon. That's the oldest civilization in the world. Maybe. So Marzio says, if you're in Cambridge, you're a student, sir, pop by my house, mate. I'll buy you a pint. Thank you. Cheers, mate. You too. Back at you. So Michael says, interesting squishy. Sherman says it was Garden of Eden. Look, I'm a Jedi says, I believe it. Squishy says, I've used it for my plants. They grow very well in it. So you're talking about super soil or something there, the Terra Preta soil. All you need is a little bit of ash, a little bit of charcoal, a little bit of manure. That is the Terra Preta recipe. That's it. Yeah. Okay, guys, this has been very fun. I love you all. Thank you for being here. Yeah, I just wanted to have a chat. So there's a quick chat. There we go. Yeah, so someone's talking about UFOs. The other person I insulted before he stopped asking about the UFO thing because I didn't answer his question. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I guess I'll sign off. Thank you so much for being here, guys. Have a good night. Cheers, Angie Bear. Bye-bye, everyone. See ya. Yes, it was fun. Thank you so much.